Coming with the spoon, and your boy Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon registration.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon, you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. To spoon. You from Vonjema, Maryland, to spoon. To spoon.
A Bureau of Corrections vein that you see right here at the grounds of the Temple of Justice. You see Councillor Gloria Musu-Scott, former Chief Justice, former Justice Minister of the Republic of Liberia, is being escorted there in the van, and she's being heavily guarded by state security as she makes her way back to the South Beach, or the
to a panel in the United States describing what would eventually be a visa restriction imposed by the U.S. State Department. The glow of my morning transformed into a gloom of a pitch black evening. And this information had finally succeeded. This was my initial reaction. I could only feel sorrow for my wife and darling little children.
Looking at the Honorable Minister's statement and looking at the budget, I think that our government does not love this country. They do not have the feeling to nurture our children in this country. Honorable Speaker, $6 billion in salaries alone, not in administrative cost. Honorable Speaker, and we say we are a poor country. Honorable Speaker, the median age in this country is 19 years old. We should consider the life and the livelihood of our children. We should be investing in education. We should be investing in health rather than paying ourselves, feeding ourselves out of the poor people of this country. I will start with this August Assembly, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, to see the salary of the Honorable Speaker increased from 658 million to 658,000 to 1,560,000. I feel ashamed to call myself an honorable member, Honorable Speaker. I gave myself for service. I did not give myself for the poor people to feed me and my family, Honorable Speaker. When I saw this, I felt embarrassed. I did not want to come to this budget session because I said to myself, there is no need, because we are just sharing the cake in our pockets, going home, feeding ourselves. Not only that, but to see the responsibility allowance, the residential allowance, the robing allowance, and all those for the representatives of the people. It is embarrassing for me to go back to my poor constituency and tell them that the meager resources of this country, I am paid that much at your expense. I took an oath, Honorable Speaker, to serve and to give back to my society, not to enrich myself. And even if I go to the Constitution, Honorable Speaker, it says that we shouldn't deliberately enrich ourselves. And increasing our salaries is deliberately enriching ourselves. And that is an embarrassment. I think as a National Assembly, we should not accept any salary increment. It was in this August Assembly that we sat and discussed the salaries of the ministers and denied them, even though they went behind our backs and increased it. That is their problem. We offered ourselves for service, Honorable Speaker. We were not appointed. We were elected and we offered ourselves, Honorable Speaker. And I think we should think of our people when we do the budget. I'm not allowing you to observe me. I don't have that time. When you are on your own feet, observe yourself, please. Thank you. Honorable Speaker, when we go to the office of the President, Honorable Speaker, I have seen new units, ICT units, being established at the office of the President. The office of the President has, I think, whatever they call it, the person that does her public speech or whatever, that lady. Why would he need an order ICT? Why would the Honorable, His Excellency want 6 advisors? How many ministers does he have in addition to the new ministries? If the President is telling us that the ministers are not good enough, I told this August Assembly here last year when we did the budget, if he is implying that his ministers are not good, let him sack them and apply and appoint advisors. The ministers, according to our constitution, should be competent enough to advise him on any policy under their ministries. And if they are not good enough, and if that is what he's implying, that they are not good enough, let him sack them and appoint advisors in their place. But as a poor country, we cannot be paying ministers and be paying advisors and be paying deputy advisors. Come on, we are a poor country. Instead of thinking of ourselves, 6 billion in emoluments alone. Come on. Honorable Speaker, I think we should think of the Gambian people, not our pockets. We say that when you are a politician, your skin starts shining. And I'm starting to believe it. Once you are appointed a minister, before 2 months, you marry a second wife. You start buying homes abroad. Come on, at the expense of who? At the expense of the poor Gambian? No way, Mr. Speaker. I am ashamed to call myself a National Assembly member. To be honest, I did not want to contest again. The only reason I contested was to show them that I can come back to this August Assembly. And I did against all odds, Mr. Speaker. If they want, they can die seeing me at the Assembly, but I will come.
A Bureau of Corrections vein that you see right here at the grounds of the Temple of Justice. You see Councillor Gloria Mususkat, former Chief Justice, former Justice Minister of the Republic of Liberia, is being escorted there in the van, and she's being heavily guarded by state security as she makes her way back to the South Beach, or the here as well to
the people are induced. The fact that the Solicitor General of the Republic of Liberia will reduce himself to bribing, to sneaking into the juror in the net, it speaks to the fact that the justice system needs reform.
Do you have pictures to attend before you?
Why the Solicitor General was removed from the proceeding? Why was the Solicitor General received from the proceeding? It is because he attempted criminalizing the process. It is because the Solicitor General decided to induce jurors. They criminalized the process. We didn't expect different result. We did not come here expecting different result. We are cognizant of the fact that the entire system was bribed. Yes. They bribed the entire system. I came to the court and knew the result because they thought that the Solicitor General made an attempt to incognitely visit the juror. It speaks to the fact that the entire process was compromised. So it's not a strange thing. It's not a strange thing.
So do you intend to take this
But we're going to the Supreme Court who allow the type of kangaroo process. Nobody's going to allow a process that will characterize by bribery. Nobody's going to allow a process that will characterize by bribery. The Solicitor General need to be debarred. The Bar Association, the father as solicitor, it tells you how criminal the regime was. Those people were bribed. Those people, the entire group were bribed. The entire group was bribed. Which group? The entire group. Let me tell you. The jurors were tampered with. The jurors were the father.
Allison, welcome to Spoon TV.
Thank you.
You were in the bench, you sat on the case, you listened to everything, and majority of the jurors came down with guilty verdict. What's your take?
Well, it tells me simply that the jurors were not interested in the facts of the case. My impression is that their minds were already made up as to what they were going to do. But this is not the end of it. In the next 5 days, we're going to file a motion for new trial. And I'm confident that this verdict will not stand before the Supreme Court.
You are former Chief Justice. What this mean to you when it comes to dispensing of justice?
Well, it means that, dispensing of justice is not just the court's business. You see the ordinary citizens who sat on the case, the jurors, and they tried all the inconsistencies in the case, and yet, in fact, they were not even taking notes. All the technical things that were being said, they were not concerned. They were not focused. So, but like I said, our consolation is that this verdict cannot stand before the Supreme Court, our highest court. They're complete rubbish. People were not even paying attention to the evidence. Apparently, their minds were already made up.
So you are still optimistic that when you go to the Supreme Court, you'll win the case?
I am very optimistic. You don't bring down somebody for murder on the kind of evidence that the prosecution produced.
Your colleagues seem to be downhearted walking our way to the subject.
Of course, anybody will be downhearted. If you were convicted of murder, you will not be downhearted.
Will you follow up to pursue her just part of the verdict?
If I follow her,
will you follow up to talk to her, like you are taking a appeal to the Supreme Court?
Oh yeah, not now. First, the procedure is that we have filed a motion for new trial. That's what we intend to do. And after that, of course, we'll announce appeal to the Supreme Court.
By making sure those people that we bring to cabinet are people of integrity. And secondly, want to make sure that even beginning with myself, we'll declare our assets and want to make sure that this is well known, the purpose of coming to government, to know that it's public service. And if you are not ready to serve the public, you can go elsewhere. But we want to make sure that we start on a clear note that the people of our country stood on line, they protected the votes, not to bring a team again that will do the same thing that the other people are doing or worse. So it's a clear message, declare your asset, make sure that we are prepared to audit the outgoing government so that they tell the Liberian people of their stewardship, and to make sure that we start on a footing where people know that they come to serve the public and not themselves. If they don't understand that, they actually fall where it may.
Mr. President-elect, you talked about asset declaration starting from yourself and the people who work with you, as well as the outgoing administration. How do you plan to avoid the semblance of targeting people? Because some people will say these are politically motivated to tarnish their reputation or to go against them, people from certain tribes or specific parts of the country. How do you plan to avoid this?
We are aware of that. And when we talk about auditing, it's not going to be a Liberian auditing. We want to make sure that our international partners work with us for a public tender, for competent and renowned auditing firm that will be qualified at an international level to make sure they come on board to do that. We are aware of people saying witch hunting, but I don't think it's witch hunting when you have to account for your stewardship, but it has to be done in a way that is well established, entity with reputation to make sure that it audits and make sure that it reports to the public the findings.
Sometimes people say that politicians make lofty promises when they are campaigning, but when it gets to governance, it becomes different. What would be different? Assuming allies of yours, family members of yours, or people who are close to you, family members, are accused of corruption during your administration, Mr. President-elect, how do you plan to tackle this specifically?
I'm not coming new to government.
Right.
Although in different positions, I ran a public corporation that was credible. And I can tell you that I come to work not with friendship. I have friends, but there is a clear line of demarcation between friendship, family, and managing. With the experience that we come with a country that celebrates 176 years, and with the life of our people living below the poverty line, I don't think we come into government again to start thinking about family, to start talking about, I think we come there to make sure that we give the Liberian people hope, and I'm committed to that.
During the campaigning, you talked a lot about the country's youth, who are the majority of the population.
Yes.
Mr. President-elect, we know majority of them are unemployed, which some people say is a danger to the country's stability and peace. What plans do you have for the people of Liberia, especially the youth, in terms of job creation, in terms of having faith in moving the country forward? What do you have for them?
We came with a mantra that talked about, first we have a platform, and then we have a brief platform that talks about arrest, meaning agriculture, roads, the rule of law, education, sanitation, and tourism. We believe these are areas in which we can jumpstart. And in those areas, we believe that our young people who are in the majority, they need to be equipped. We need to open opportunities for them to be trained and be marketable. We also have to make sure that the quality of education that will prepare them for the job market. But to do these, we have to be able to impress our partners and investors, the private sector investment, to make them feel that we are here for business, and this business, their investment will impact the young people, but the young people need to be trained. And we know that there are things that we can jumpstart that could bring a little relief to the public. Like I have said, there is an outgoing government. There are a lot of areas in which we can begin to alleviate the suffering of the people. We're going to examine those areas, like where we know that the prices of commodities, essential commodities like rice and things, where we know that there have been some tariffs that we can work with right away, the petroleum products and some of these things here. We want to do those things that I will begin to alleviate. But I have said that in the first 100 days, no car will get stuck in the mud. That means these critical road conditions, we lessen them, because once you improve the road, the travel, the prices of commodities, all of that have reflection. On the job market, we're going to be very cautious because people have a lot of expectations in government, but in government, we have to know what we're inheriting, and that's what the transition team is working with. I come with a knowledge and with experience and a commitment to make Liberia a different country, a country in which the young people, our women, will know that it is time for them to be relieved. And we come to make them know that, yes, it's not going to be an overnight thing, but we come with a serious commitment to make sure that we make life easier for them.
You talked about the women.
Yes.
Any plans for women empowerment in Liberia?
Very much so. And, I have worked with women. When I was vice president of Liberia, one of the areas in which a lot of my first few months were utilized were with the marketing association. I worked with them until we got them organized, until we got money to create a real LMA that will become independent. That's why you see that the government, with all their muscling, they can tamper with them. We made sure that there was a law firm that put together their constitution to protect them, that we provided money for them to get a business entity that put them together to teach them some business. And those areas where mostly women control. Beside that, we intend to bring on board women, capable women. And I want to say, we don't want any token relation. We want people who are competent and capable and deserve the positions they get. Gender issues have always been issues close to my heart. And women involvement, we want to make sure that that is ensured. But I can tell you, the Liberians do understand where we're coming from. We want to make them know, we build a confidence that, yes, rescue is here, relief is here, but we have to move it at a level that we don't give any false assurances to anybody.
Let's look at the health system in Liberia. You mentioned it during your campaign. A lot of people say it's either non-existent or, Liberians would have to go to neighboring countries or even, southern part of the continent to go seek for medical attention. Mr. President-elect, how do you plan to tackle this? Because it's a serious issue.
I have worked with the health sector when I was in government, and you will see that we have Jamale, where now they do, people can go and do their examinations instead of going to Ghana. We have in mind to increase more of that on a regional basis to make sure that people can go somewhere instead of coming all the way to Monrovia to check there. A lot of people say the person just sat down and died. People don't just sit down and die. But that there will be possibilities that people will know at an early stage the condition of their health. Besides that, we want to open opportunities for all our hospitals and clinics to be functional. And when I say functional, there's a belief in a country that once you build a building, it's a clinic. Or once you build a building, it's a school. We want to make those things real, that when we build a hospital, it has the right people, and those people will be paid. The nurses, people, all who are responsible will be looked after. Because even those who look after people, they themselves need to be looked after.
But Mr.
We want to make
President,
them function.
that costs a lot of money. How
It
do you
costs
plan
money.
to finance it?
It costs money. But let me tell you, Liberia is not working. Everything that we are doing, there have been a lot of work put in the health sector. How should it function? What we need in Liberia is implementation. We're not beginning as a new country. Everything is on paper. What we need is to make sure that we function according to those guidelines that have been set up. We implement those things that have been documented over the years. And I want to believe that we are not in there alone. There are partners who are anxious to see a government that is committed to make sure that these things function and that they are willing to work with us. Even as at now, we have made a lot of contracts already for medical supplies. I have been to Arizona, Project Q. They've given a container load of medical. But we have to make sure that these things reach their proper destination, not ministers opening their private clinics, not people standing there along the way. So we are aware, and the system is in place. We have to implement what we said.
Mr. President, like you talked about Liberians taking Liberia back to where it should be. What do you mean by that? And how do you plan to do that?
Well, we say where it should be because everybody remembers the good old Liberia, but we have to understand that the good old Liberia had not always been the good old Liberia for all Liberians. So taking it back means that there are some things that we're working right that we need to, but we need to go further than that. Population has increased. Take Monrovia, for example. When it used to be 350,000 people, now it's over 1.5 million. And you know the social services are not there. We haven't coped with the social services. We have to make sure that we go back to where we were when things were good, but we have to see that situations have changed. For example, you take the city of Monrovia, there are no streets. Movement is difficult. The streets are filthy. The Liberians have seen that. And right now, this is why you have this mass movement where people are voluntarily going the street for cleaning. That means they know what's supposed to be. They are aware of it, but they need a leadership that will make them come back to recognize who they are and put a value on their lives.
Mr. President, like before we go, you talked about looking at how people voted during the last election, and analysts are telling me that it looks like the country is sharply divided. How do you plan to unite the country? And do you think there are any major takeaways from this recent elections, or what other countries can learn from the Liberian recent general election?
We want to thank the Liberians, including the outgoing president, for seeing the need. I did that before. And I think we all should know that we serve people and that when the time comes for us to leave, we should leave gracefully. Everybody is commending Liberia for that. But at the same time, the Liberians themselves were looking for a change. They were committed to making sure. I'm reflecting on the night of the election. There are a lot of things that could have happened, and the Liberians stood to make sure they protected their votes. For me, this is saying to me, we are yearning for something that you said you gave us and we want it. And I believe this is the way it should go. When people want to change, give them the chance to choose their leader and to make sure that we all support that. This is democracy.
Yes, I, a special one from the CEO, stand tunnel with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band, charges on the beat.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion.
Okay, indeed, tune to spoon to be part of our discussion. Tune to spoon to get your information. Of course, this is where we give you authentic information about all of the happenings in Liberia. Again, we want to say welcome to another edition of the program. This is the late night show, the late night politics on spoon. This is where we get to talk about the trending national issues, and present the issues to you as they are, and also provide you the opportunity to share your views on those trending national issues. So welcome to the program. My name is Nelson Colette. We're live on Spoon, FM, Fabric, Super, and other frequencies across the country. We're live on Spoon TV, Fabric TV, and Super TV, and also on YouTube. We're there at Spoon Talk Live. This edition of the show is heavily loaded. We encourage you to share the program as you come on. And let's have a fascinating discussion tonight. Today is the 23rd day of December. We're just 2 days to Christmas. And we are 7 or 8 days to the end of the year. Well, with no time to waste, lots of things happening in Liberia. We can promise you that this edition of the show is heavily loaded for you. Let's go across now to bring in the guys. I see the team is already here. Moba Zokat, our co-moderator, is in the background. Wow. I wish you guys were seeing what I'm seeing here. If only you guys are seeing what I'm seeing, you will know exactly what I intend to say. But well, we're gonna hold it at that. We'll bring in our co-moderator. I'm trying to call the guy. This is interesting. This is very interesting. This is very interesting. But let me bring in the rest of the guys. I see Officer Hans Johnson is already here. He's trying to set his camera. Raymond Zeze is here. Raymond, welcome to the show. It's good to have you on.
It's always a pleasure being here with you, especially sharing the same platform with you, Nelson. One of Liberia's best at doing what you do.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Mr. Zeze, how are you? I understand you're spending the Christmas or the festive season in a very unique way. You're in Minnesota right now. You took a flight last evening, and you're somewhere enjoying yourself. And I don't want to say the rest of the other things that follows, but it's good to have you on. Oh,
yeah, it's a pleasure. Especially
Sanders says, Christmas on me, my Christmas on you, yeah, my Christmas on you. I love myself.
It's always an opportunity when you can share joy with those you love and care the most about. You know, Christmas is a time of family, especially in the US. People work very hard. And the country is so big, so it's far apart, people in different states. So this time, you know, we just together and sharing the love, the warmth of the family, of the Christmas spirit in the family gathering. I think that's the best you can. It's not much about how much money is spent, but the quality time with those you care the most about.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a great one, man, and I'm glad to know that you arrived safely, and wishing you all the best as you go about celebrating the Christmas in a very unique way. Let me bring in Officer Hans Johnson. The man did a video that I saw on social media. Maybe I will try to find that video before the close of the show. The man is dressed, well dressed in his
Oh.
Somebody trying to hijack the show or what?
I know.
Well, how you doing, brother? How's your day going?
Oh, my man, I am blessed. How are you, Raymond? I'm exhausted, and but I'm happy. I got a day off, the weekend off. I don't return to work till next week sometime. I don't know when. Tired.
So, how
I
you and
happy.
the family tend to spend the Christmas?
Oh yeah, tomorrow we traveling out of the country,
Oh, that's awesome.
going to rest to one of the islands. You work
Oh,
hard,
that's
play hard, and as I can say, boy, Remo.
enjoy the warm weather, huh?
I know, yeah, bro. It's been last night was not too bad. The night prior to was very cold. Yeah, and
Yeah,
fun when you gotta stand outside in the cold.
yeah, and you got to work. So, easy
Yes.
way to make money, my brother.
But what I can do when I get outside, it cold beat me small down. Once I get in that car, I turn that thing up there like the highest here. Then in like few
Yeah,
seconds it warm up. Yeah. How was your flight though?
well, it was pleasant and saved.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, this time around the airports, man, they're so busy.
But
Anyway,
I expected it to be a lot more busy than I experienced yesterday. I got there. I went several hours ahead because I thought it was going to be a real rush. But when I got there, honestly, it was smooth. So I even thought I should have waited an hour later. Then
mm,
it was
don't
better.
don't try
Better late
it.
than never.
Yeah, I wonder what happened with Nelson though. Yeah, I hope he's okay.
I think his internet has an issue. I probably got a cord that disrupted or something.
Let me say hello to my boy over there, Ashford Cooper. He's out there in up New England. I think Maine or New Hampshire. Uh, I think somebody dialing in. That's the thing. We got no control over it. We just here talking, bro.
I know. Until he can come see,
I know, right?
we can freestyle, right?
Yeah. I mean, as I said, I sent a shout out to Alfred. He said Ashford. Ashford said it is 18 degrees. I think he's in New Hampshire. It is 18 degrees out there, bro. That's cold.
Yeah, yeah.
That's really cool.
18 degrees. That's crazy, man.
Not just December. You got January, February, and parts of
Yeah.
March. Yo, I will never forget one weather, huh, bro? Sorry, I had to laugh. It was 2020. I think you remember, man. We had that up on the 95 belt,
Mhm.
95 Virginia, parts of
Yeah.
Maryland, DC. Yeah, or 15 minutes drive from my house. I took 9 hours in the snow. My truck almost flipped. People are in the snow. People got stuck. Luckily, nobody died. So that day, you got older people stuck in the snow. So what we did, we got out of the car and started walking 3, 4, 5 miles, checking up on people. Sure
Mhm.
enough, people in the
Yeah, yeah.
car they were running low,
Yeah,
diabetics.
yeah. People pass. I saw it on
Yes,
the TV. Yeah.
yeah, I think people did pass. So
Yeah,
people were
people did.
running low on their medication. So
Yeah.
we no wait for the fire people to come. So the fire people had to walk. So I was on my way from work. So what I did, I just donned my jacket and a couple of other police officers. It was few sheriffs. 15 minutes drive to my house. I was 15 minutes from my house, nine
Yeah.
hours. So we just started working. We started cutting trees, blindly opening the roads, going out there,
Okay,
working.
guys, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, sorry, I had a little bit of issue here from my end. But I'm gonna try to bring the rest of the guys on. Let me bring Mobile Soka on, our co-moderator. But you seen the man face? The man said he was watching TV while I was calling him in the background. Mobile, don't be that you.
I'm watching movie, my Milo, sir.
Man, why you
Yeah.
watching?
So when you said it, mention it, be like you. What you mean, brother?
Thank
Man,
you.
you're
No.
sleep.
I'm not going political today. Seriously, we're not going political.
I think Mobile is becoming the new Jerry. The guy in studio now, it's just dark.
Yeah.
No, in my living room, man. My living room, like I left on the dining room in your living room.
Uh, 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 yeah. So, Mobile, thanks for being here tonight. Mobile, can you rotate the camera like you did last evening so that we can have?
Let me probably do that.
Okay, there you have it. Now it's good. Can you also turn down the volume of the TV? Yeah, I think it'll be okay for us. Um,
Let me set this
Let
up.
me let me send a very special greeting to um. Let me send a very special greeting
Let me do it. Let me set this.
to.
Don't cut don't cut it off, Malva, because it helps with lighting.
No, I put it up. I'll then lower it.
Don't load, yeah, mute.
But you hear anything?
Well, today I got off my studio. I sit on my couch, so I cool at it, and y'all understand?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
But I like the artwork behind you, brother.
Thank you.
The artwork behind you, I like it.
Appreciate it. The great
Whose
Jimi
choice?
Hendrix.
You or your wife?
Huh?
Who picked that? The
You know what he
artwork,
mean,
who
bro.
picked it?
You know
Your
him. I
wife?
mean, I picked Jimi Hendrix is her.
Okay, so guys, we have to make progress. We while we try to work on the internet issue. I want to say thanks again. Pop Mobile, can you want to?
Okay,
Okay,
so
let me get you backstage. Okay, you okay now, right?
yeah.
Okay. So welcome to the show. Let me do this. Ture, welcome to the show, man. I see you have your
You're Marvin Gaye or what?
no, not Marvin Gaye. The man know Marvin Gaye can count the show.
But Nelson, right? I got a question for you. Yesterday, you were all on my keys. What's the difference? Me in the open at the space, trying to keep my
Mm.
hair warm. When I flip my uh, Apple J to the back, why you kept insisting I gotta take it off? When the face was just the front was just as what Toure has right now. So
Because
what's the
George,
Okay.
because
Okay, so
George, because George
let me
decided
bring
to say no more.
Ami on. Ami has an answer for that. Ami got my back on that one. I'll also bring Francis on. Ami, where do you stand with this whole face cap and
Thank you. You're asking the right person.
and any massage
I
you love
think
to
this.
tonight?
Huh?
I say
And
you love
whatever
some
Ami says,
tonight.
Nelson, you better take it.
No, no, no.
Yes.
I'm not taking whatever Ami says. Ami is not
I
always wrong.
I think the face care rules is bullshit.
Bless you, man.
What?
No, she
What?
sneezed.
Is I was sleeping. I said I think the face care
Okay,
rule
okay,
is
okay. No, 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 no,
bullshit.
no, 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 no. We, we,
No,
we,
Are you
we,
face
looking for witness?
we no, no. Listen, guys, listen.
don't
No,
you ask me,
I
don't
don't.
mute me,
No,
Nelson,
Who
don't
was
mute me,
sneezing?
please.
Nelson.
I don't need
Nelson, you
any
have me tell her
opinion.
bless. You have me say a bless her, right?
You gotta bless me.
So
She
Nelson,
sneezed.
No,
when
no,
you
no,
do that, be a
But you're
gentleman.
looking
Bless
for a
the lady.
witness. So
no.
she gave a real witness answer.
I will not. I will not go for any opinion from Amy anymore. Amy doesn't. Amy doesn't have the rule I had. She got love for the show, but she can make it with the rules. So
She got love, but
It's
she
like
not
you
making
probably
it.
a witness in the court, and you say, I'll change my mind.
yeah,
That
I changed
doesn't
my mind.
work.
On everything. Yeah, yeah, I've changed my mind. But again, it's good to be here, man. To talk about issues that brought us on the forward march of our country, Liberia. So I will be in the background here until my internet issues can be handled. Um, but while I do that, we have a couple of issues to talk about. But again, we don't have a luxury of time. I'm hoping that we can get done by 4 a.m. or that's in about an hour from now. So let's do a quick what's on your mind, 1 minute each. Before doing that, let me send a very special greeting to some members of our team who have not been with us for a while. As you know, this is the festive season, the end of the year, and they're out there. Cindy, Jirayu Cindy is on African tour. He's going to some African countries, East Africa, South Africa, and other places. So he's not been here. So yeah, we want to send a shout out to Jalayu Cindy. And I see most times in the comment section, people are asking for Cindy. Cindy will be here anytime
And
soon.
he's on vacation.
He's on a vacation. And Shirley Smith. Shirley went on a was it a short vacation in
Mm-hmm.
Gambia?
Don't be talking
Yeah,
about vacation
Shirley
too
has been
much.
away for a while. But I understand she successfully made her way back to the US. She's in Minnesota now. So Shirley says she's gonna be joining the show on Saturday or so. And yeah, so now aside from Shirley, our guy Jerry Nimpa, the Pelican governor, has been away for some time as well. Information is that he's making his way to Liberia. I understand he should be in Liberia by now. So Jerry will be joining the show from Liberia anytime soon. Yeah, and Miss Cora, Sheikh Sharif, and the rest of the guys, uh, um, Norman Dan, and Marie, and all of the guys, man. Let's say a very great, a very special shout out to you. So let's do a quick what's on your mind, and then we move to our talking point. It's not going to be long tonight, folks. Um, but let's do the what's on your mind quickly. Then we will come to our discussion for tonight. We want to start with you, Moba, and then we'll take
Thank you.
Amy and just follow the queue.
Yeah, thank you, Nelson, and thank
Can
you
we
for
all
our
mute? We are all unmuted, and it is giving us some terrible feedback.
So you getting me? Hello? You guys hearing me? All right, yeah. Thank you to all our listeners and viewers around the world. Well, what on my mind today? I was, because I'm really curious about the case about uh the former justice minister, right? And I've done some research, and there's a lot of things need to be done for that woman to be prosecuted. Well, I mean prosecuted because according to them, because they said she was found guilty. Guilty of what? Like there is no evidence and there's no motive in that case for that woman to kill her own sir, daughter. In investigation, we get what we call beyond all reasonable doubt. Before you prosecute somebody, right? You got to get all the facts. You got to get evidence. You understand? Before you even come like to say the person is guilty of murder, you got to get DNA fingerprint. You got to get something to attach that person to that identical case or that murder before you come up with any verdict. But it's so saddening that our justice system in Liberia is selective, and more especially when it comes to when the government is against you, you're done. Nothing can save you, whether you're right or you're wrong. Nothing can save you. Even God plead on behalf of you, the government will say no. You know why? Because they get a power on earth. They do things in their way. It's not a way of the people. It's not a constitution. It's not a mandate of the constitution. It's not a law. So when I went through her case, I saw a lot of contradiction. I saw favoritism in favor of the government. So it just tell us and the world at large that when it comes to justice, our country is way down the line. The last time I checked, we're among the most lawless country in the world. Country where people do things and there's no justice and there's no accountability. And people walk free end of the day and they lie on other people just to gain political favor. And that's what happened in this woman case. People will come and say what they want to say, but the case is highly political, no matter how you turn it. Because there's nothing in the case can tell you that this woman is guilty. I challenge the prosecutor. I challenge the judge. I challenge the jury. They cannot bring nothing further to tell us, to convince me, beyond all reasonable doubt, that this woman is guilty. I challenge them. I challenge the entire justice system in our country, including the judge. Let it bring us something tangible that they can tell us, Liberians, or like everyone around the world, that this woman is guilty based on this. First of all, you got to establish what's the motives. You don't even know. You just come out and say the woman is guilty because you feel the government is in your hand. You rushing quickly to prosecute a woman falsely because of political favor. But as times go by, we believe the justice system will wake up. This woman will be vindicated one day, and our people will get justice. And there's nothing we can. Look, we were talking every day. The only thing we can hope on for JMB when he took power, let him make sure he straighten the justice system. Because the justice system is what? It's compromised
Hear
right
me,
now.
Mobile.
Everybody in our justice
Mobile,
system.
can you hear me?
I'm hearing
Can you
you.
hear me, Mobile? Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
All right. Let me conclude now. Just call me up, my man. Let me conclude.
Okay, yeah, just conclude, then we take Ami.
Thank you, Nelson. So, as I was saying, right, our entire justice system, it need to be revamped, rebrand. When somebody tells you rebrand, you know what I mean? Change all the criminals, all the people who could have been bribed and accept bribery. Let them move. Let bring people who focus on the Constitution and the law. I submit by telling my Liberian people, y'all wake up. The new government is coming for everybody who commit harm to our people and lie on other people.
Thank you.
They will be judged. I submit.
Ami, let's hear you quickly. Let's try to live within the 1 minute, so we move to our talking point quickly.
Yeah, so what's on my mind is that that was one of what Mobile talked about. The former Chief Justice Laura Musu Scott, the games that they're playing with her in her life. And the second thing is that I seen a video of some community dwellers beating on a boy. They said that he stole something of they spraying pepper spray in his butt and in his eyes. And it was this one lady, and I don't know her. She was doing a live, but I'm so proud of her. Even though she was alone, she couldn't do much, but she kept on saying no. Y'all need to stop. I'm not saying he didn't do anything wrong. He didn't steal meter or whatever, but y'all need to take him to the police. And everyone there was, even the women that was there, were obeying something to her. Oh, maybe that's her brother and stuff like that. And I don't know what ended up happening to that young man, but this is getting too much in our country and we need to stop. And something has got to be done about it. And it all comes under the whole justice system and stuff like that. Those people that are caught on camera doing those things needs to be prosecuted for this for this to stop, because that's the only way other people would not want to do it. And I wish I knew that lady. I was so proud of her yesterday for standing up among all those people and raising her voice and making sure she wanted to make sure to stop what was going on, what they were doing to that boy. And I just felt that I wish everybody would be doing that from now on.
Thanks a lot. I mean, let's hear from you, Officer Hent. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Nelson. Good day to everybody out there in TV and radio land. I want to say thank you for joining us again. A blessed evening to the panelists. Hello. Not much to say, Nelson. Just want to say that those back home that are preparing for Christmas. Christmas is a big thing. We celebrated Christmas growing up. By this time, we all getting ready for. I just want to retrospect a little bit. We're all getting ready to open our cowboy guns and look at us today. We all ran away from guns. And I pray and hope that Christmas gifts in the next years and years and years and decades to come will be all technology items that I think which is dominating the world now instead of what we used to have back in the days for toys. But I just want to say, pre-Christmas treat to everybody out there and to the Spoon family. Thank you, Mr. CEO Witherspoon and Madam Cannon, for giving us this opportunity that we are able to sit here and deliberate on issues of vital importance regarding Liberia and the world as a whole. Thank you.
Okay, so thanks a lot, Officer Hand. Ture Ogbatala, go ahead. Let's hear you, sir.
That's right. Thank you so very much, Nancy. I'll just go up of what my man, Officer Hines, was just, like Christmas obviously is a big deal. Me coming from a Muslim background, know exactly how that whole Christmas festivity and the holiday season itself, um, supersede like, you know, what are your culture, your religion background, everything like that. So I just wish the joy of Christmas will flow once again in our country and people will have time with their family under normal circumstances, obviously, economic vibrance and everything like that. So we can have a real nice celebratory occasion. But having said that, Nelson, I want to say thank you to the Spoon family as well for the opportunity, and thanks to our Liberian people for hearing us and taking some of our our pointers and our advice that they're able to rescue our country now that we are all proud of, and everything that is happening now
Guys, save that for New Year's night.
but yeah, with respect to Gloria Mususka, that whole situation is what I term to be as travesty of justice. We I mean, I personally, I don't trust the judicial system of my country. um Justice only served to the higher bidder, and those that are in power, they can do everything to sway public opinion and to sway in their favors. So hopefully we can have a government now that can come and change all of that. And I really trust uncle or grandfather JMB can definitely do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ture. Let's hear from you, Raymond, and then we'll take Francis. Just 1 minute each.
That's a feedback that's so bad. I don't know where it comes from. But when everybody starts to speak, I hear it. Well, two basic things on my mind. We in the festive season, Christmas season. Like my brother Hans said, growing up, we used to have our Tommy gun, the belts and everything. And that was something a boy had to receive on during Christmas. But today it's different. The kids are only asking for food. That's how bad, backwards our country has become. However, wealth does not define happiness. So this Christmas, I want to wish every Liberian, especially those in Liberia who find it hard to get a basic 1 square meal, the thing they call fresh foods. This Christmas, 20 something, I posted. I hope that Christmas, the spirit of Christmas, come with the victory of Joseph Yimabwaka, where we can have hope for tomorrow and where our Liberia can become better. The transformation where our lives can become better by the improvement that will take place. But this time, that Christmas wish has come true. GMB is currently the president. So I just want to wish all of us Christmas and let us celebrate that Christmas joy, that spirit. When Christmas comes around, whether you have it or not, there's just a certain atmosphere within your space. And you just enjoy the air, the happiness, whether it's Christmas carols playing or what. Let's have this hope for tomorrow and let us bugger up a little bit. For me as a person, every year that comes, I sit in retrospect. Where did I come from? How did I get here? What are those things I could have done better? What is it that I need to do better the year coming? And I know the circumstances in Liberia are quite difficult. There are a lot of challenges than opportunities. But can we hold on to the very little opportunities or the very few? And can we strive to do something that improves our lives? It's good to jolly jolly. But jolly jolly that just for the moment. It's in the seconds. Once you finish jolly jolly, that is done. But things that bring lasting values to your life, like going to school, like getting an education, like starting a business, like trying to get a career, put your hands to something that can pay back. Like letting a low trade, those who do here, you know, involve making a resolution that I don't care what happened, I will achieve this thing 3, 4, 5 years from now. I hope to be this place. That's my Christmas wish for every Liberian. And I wish you all a Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you, Raymond. Let's hear from you, Francis.
Yeah, guys. Yeah. Just to go back to the whole Christmas thing, man. I remember, growing up in Liberia around the holiday time. It's like a whole new atmosphere. It's like they took the old atmosphere and brought a new one in. The class is different. The feeling is different. You can just tell. Even when I came to America, my first year when I came to America, Christmas did not even look like Christmas to me because everybody just busy running around, busy running around. But in Liberia, you can tell, mom and pop home, unless they are businesses, but everything's like shut down. People, you don't even have a lot of money, but you still enjoy. But today, they say civil servant not getting paid. And see, and that's the danger of the whole thing. We come on here and talk all the time about the private sector. That is the danger of having government being the largest employer in a country. Because if government is the largest employer in a country, and then the civil servants are not getting paid, what happens to that economy? Nobody going out to buy Christmas clothes. Nobody going to buy gifts. Nobody going to do anything that will boost or stimulate the economy because there is no money. You see, so we just pray that JMB coming on to help change this whole thing and open the Liberian economy to the private sector, wherein people don't have to go to government or ministry to pay their children's school fees. And then just the next is the security aspect of the country. People need to stop this mob justice. And for those people that are recording, that stand by and record, unless you are helpless, if you record it, take it to the police station. Police people start to monitor Facebook, Instagram, and you see some of these videos, record it and go and look for those individuals that you find in the video that carry out this mob justice. And I keep saying it sounds like a joke, but if I hear about anybody building a private prison in Liberia, I will invest in it. I will invest in it because then this stuff has to end in Liberia. Let the criminal go to the police and then go to prison. And our police too gotta be trained because sometimes you see the video, the police are the same people abusing the criminals. The person commit crime, you arrest the person, take the person to jail, let the law deal with them. But the whole country is just lawless. And why people are afraid to come there. Tourism, Liberia has better beaches and stuff than the Caribbean, Jamaica, and other places. My best friend, my best man is from the Caribbean. But what the difference is, the people develop their country. They're not destroying it. So tourism is part of JMB arrest. I think it's the last pillar key for tourism. Once we can develop our country will be very enjoyable because people will come. People go to Ghana and other places. Liberia don't even exist to foreign national because why? No security. Nobody want to come to Liberia. Even you look so that you see they bring Nigerian artists to come and perform in Liberia, so that you found 100 people there. Why? Because the people in Montserrat County, they didn't even get food to eat. How they will go buy the ticket? But if you open up the country and the country is secure, they can even have a concert in Nima. People from Monserrado will go there because there's good road. So that's why we need to develop our country. We need to rally around JMB and pray that things get better. Because Liberia can't keep going like this. We deserve better, and we'll get better. Thank you.
So, thanks a lot, Francis. Thank you very much for your contribution on the on this aspect of the show. Okay, I'm getting signal here that my system is picking up from here. Um, wow. Okay, so and I zero
Keep fighting. You make
five
it. You try to make it, but you're not making it. Okay,
five
now you
things
make it.
five things going on.
Something going on with audio.
Okay.
I get bad feedback.
Yeah.
Oh, you still not make it?
The man make it.
No, make it.
The man still licking it.
But hands, wait, hey, you behind the camera, you still talking?
Read the chat.
Okay, sorry, guy.
I see
Sorry.
that. Yeah, reach out.
I had to do some adjustments, and it was just that way. It's a good thing that we're back. That Miami internet, the internet was not. Yeah, let me leave it that way. But yes, I'd like us to move straight into our discussion for tonight, folks. Montserrado County Senator A.B. Darius DeLong. Senator Abraham Darius DeLong, as most of you are aware, has a rehab center. This center came about when Senator DeLong said that he would cut his salary and give portion of the salary to the county, give back to the county. Okay. Officer Hans, is that your dollar? Okay, that's great. That's great.
Yeah,
She's
muted.
beautiful. Okay, he says he wants to be muted. So this came about when Senator Darius DeLong said he was going to cut the salary, give a portion back to the county, and then this whole idea about the effect or the impact of drugs on our country came into the picture, and so the rehab center thing came in. And then Senator DeLong reached out to some of the folks in the diaspora to be of help. And long story short, everything turned out to be that way. And the rehab center came to being. He put his personal resources into it, and Liberians out of the country contributed towards that cause as well. But where are we today? Today, Senator Abraham Darius DeLong's rehab center graduated the second batch of disadvantaged youth in the country. 14 persons, a batch of 14 disadvantaged youths were graduated today. And you could see how their family members turned up to grace the occasion. But something very important that happened at the program today is the senator, and I want us to watch this video, Senator Abraham Darius DeLong. When the senator took the microphone to engage with the folks who are gone to form part of this very important program, he said this. He is making a recommendation. Okay, so let's hope we can get this one coming. Okay, I think we're good to go.
I have my own recommendation too.
Okay, so let's take.
And you hear. We catch you passing overboard to contaminate this place. You're gone. You're not coming back. Everything here. The medication is free. It's on the center. Thanks to the board. The board of the center. We have registered this place, and you all know it is called the Center for Rehabilitation and Reintegration. Here, no partisan politics. We don't bring it here because you are partisan of a particular or any particular political party. We don't bring it here discriminating your religious belief. We don't bring you here because you're President Senator Taylor or not. We bring you here simply because you are a human being, you are a citizen, and you desire, or your parents or loved one desire for you to recover. Few of them will tell their stories. Yes, they will give their own testimony. It's not everybody in the street there is uneducated. It's not everybody in the street there is unskilled. Something took them there. Jesus Christ raised Lazarus from the dead. Even though Lazarus died later on again. But the Bible says the wages of sin is death. So, very likely, Lazarus sinned, so he died. But Jesus resurrected him from the dead. But Lazarus died later on again. That means Lazarus sinned again. People can graduate from here, clean you up, will get you recovered. You can go out there, and you go back to the same thing, you're going to relapse. And then, so we want our people from here to be ambassadors out there. We're taking this program into the ghettos. And as I close, I'm speaking as senator of this county and as the rescue light of this county and of the rescue mission. We will take the issue of drug seriously.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In this country under the administration and leadership of Dr. Nima Bwaka. We will combat it. We will fight it. We will demonstrate practical actions.
Yes, sir.
I believe strongly that President Joseph Nima Bwaka, Vice President Jeremiah Kwan, Senator Taylor, and all of us in leadership will do drug tests to tell you that we're getting serious. Yes. Any public official tested positive of drug, you don't believe it belongs in government. The security people, whether you police director, you NSA boss, and especially the drug enforcement agency, before we confirm you, it will be a requirement that you will do drug tests. When we start to do that, the people who are importing, trafficking, smuggling drug, will know that it's getting serious in Liberia. Let's find another place.
That's it.
The people who in government are not doing drugs themselves, but they greedy for the drug money, so they facilitating it. They will know we are getting serious about it.
Yes.
We can be fighting to rehabilitate people, then we don't close the hole, setting the school as to what causing the drug to be in the country and available. We strengthen the prison compound because we don't want to punish the people importing drugs, producing drugs, and doing mass production. We punish the users. The users may be victims, but they are also violating the law. We punish you by law. We send you to central prison. There, in the central prison, we do rehabilitation there. So when you move on there, you will know that we're not sorry for you because you're taking it. We're punishing you for taking it.
Yes, sir.
We're serious.
So there you have it. There you have it. There you have it. The Montserrat County Senator, Senator A.B. Abraham Darius DeLong, making that comment today at a rehab center. When the rehab center graduated about 14 disadvantaged youths. In other words, some people call them Zogos, the young people who are on drugs, who have been affected by this thing. They sleep in the ghetto. You see them walking around in the streets with old irons. They are in the streets of Monrovia. If you went to get on a commercial vehicle, if you're not careful, they will snatch your phones. They're on a motorbike. They will snatch your bags. They will harm you to get whatever they want to get from you. He is saying that in order for this fight that they've undertaken, this journey that they've embarked on to be a successful one, that there's a need for public officials, our ministers, the directors, and he makes some key emphasis on the LDEA, the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency officials who will go at the Senate for confirmation. That even the president and the vice president, including he, Senator Abraham Darius DeLong, and other officials of government, should be subjected to a drug test. If they are positive, if drugs is found in their system, they should not take their seat. If those individuals are clear, then of course, especially for the people who will be going to the Senate for confirmation, then those people can be confirmed. In other words, he's saying that drug tests should be one of the requirements for serving in public offices. Guys, where do you stand with this discussion? Do we have a system that supports this idea, this thought that Senator Darius DeLong is coming up with? Do we have an environment that such an idea can be nurtured and be able to survive in? Is Liberia one of those places where you see the possibility of public officials subjecting themselves to a drug test? Well, what Senator Darius DeLong is proposing, and he's saying that he is going to subject himself. He's saying that he's very sure that the president-elect is going to subject himself. The vice president-elect and other officials of government are going to agree to do a drug test, and then other officials can follow. Let's start with you, Morba. Listening to Senator DeLong, do you see the possibility of what he's talking about here, of public officials subjecting themselves to a drug test before taking their seats? Is Liberia that kind of, do we have that kind of environment? Yes, it's true. The impact or the effect of drugs on our society is huge. Every day, a good number of young people are getting recruited. They're in the streets as we speak. They're all out there. But do we have the environment? Can this idea survive in the Liberian society? Let's hear from you, Moba. You are muted. Can you unmute?
All right, thank you. Yeah, actually, right.
Oh, Moba, don't do this to us, my man. Don't. In fact, we're gonna start from down here. Toure, let's hear you on this one. Let's hear you, Toure. Moba wants to. Don't try us, Moba. Go ahead, Toure. I mean, you listen to Senator DeLong on this one.
Yeah, so basically, Nelson, it is indeed feasible, right? Because one thing I understand, there are some changes start from the bottom to the top, and there are other changes that start from the top to the bottom. So in this case, we all want to be inspired by people, right? We want people to inspire us. And the only people that are in position to do that are people that we look up to. Like in life, when you growing up, you know what I mean? What are you going through your adolescent processes and all of that stuff? You look at your parents, you look at your older brothers. But then when you become mature, like in your 30s and 20 and stuff like that, then you actually start looking at then you start looking at your lawmakers, right? Then you start looking at people in power, right? Above that of your, you know what I mean? Like people in political power and all of that stuff. So in this case, you're looking at your politicians, right? They control a huge board of their constituents, almost like 50,000, 70,000. So some of them almost 100,000 people they are representing. So when these people are actually, like making these kind of decisions to go get themselves drug tested, that right there trickle down, right? Suppose say, oh, if my senator can do these things,
I think I should be able to get
Okay,
across.
okay,
I
okay.
should be
I
able to get
understand
across
where you're
message.
coming from at this point, Ture. I understand where you're coming from at this point. You're talking about the feasibility, um 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 uh the positive side of this, why it is good for our country, the importance of it and everything. I get that one. But let's talk about the possibility in the Liberian context. We have a situation where I remember a couple of years back, it was during the 2017 election. Yes, 2017 election. And there was this lawmaker who was contesting in District 13, Montserrat County. And because Senator Sir Joseph was supporting John Weah, a candidate of the CDC at that time, against that particular candidate, Senator Sir Joseph accused the man of being a drug dealer. At the end of the day, the man won. The man is at the legislature. Now, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with Senator Sir Joseph, but again, my question to you is, do we have a kind of, okay, let's start with the legislature, then we'll come to the judiciary, then we'll go to the executive. Do we have a kind of system that can support this particular idea that Senator Dillon is coming up with?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we like him or we make decisions, and whatever you see, ideas. Ideas should not be something that should. If your idea are not big enough to make you afraid, then do not subscribe to them. Right? They're supposed to make people uncomfortable. They're supposed to make people scary. Right? So I'm talking about this. Can this be done? Right? I'm an optimist, right? I look at things. I look at things that when you actually put things to place and do all of the collaboration and try to reach out to people that you can reach out to, try to reach out to people that you can influence, because it all gonna come down to how much Dillon is willing to go with this, right? If Dillon can actually be able to sell this to his colleagues, then it's something that they can all look into. But I live in a country in a great United States. I know very well any job that I've ever, right, or gone to, right, I had to go through blood tests. All right, it don't matter who you are, right? That is a standard of operation that happens here, right? So if Dillon is trying to introduce such in Liberia and he's trying to start it from the legislature and the executive level, I mean, this is something that we should all say, you know what? At least let's welcome it.
Do you see the legislature, the current legislature? Okay, let's start with the 55th because the 54th is already out. The 55th legislature, considering the number of people who were retained and the number of new lawmakers we're having that are going now to the legislature, do you see a kind of legislature that's going to support this idea coming from Senator Dillon?
Oh, absolutely. As of right now, the legislature is on ice right now, right? It's on ice, right? Because we know exactly what is happening there right now. We know the number of representatives and senators that did not make it back in there, right? So that right there is saying anybody that goes against a popular mandate, any idea or system being introduced
you will be butchered out.
That seek to benefit the welfare of the people, and you be the lone senator that are going to go against that. Guess what? There's something coming your way. So Dillon is actually there as an agitator. Dillon is there to put people on the map. Okay, you voted for this, you voted against this. They're going to say that to the Liberian people. Then come election time, the Liberian people know exactly where they're standing, who are for them and who are against them. So I think this is a very, very good idea that Dillon is actually putting forth. Because if we should fight against drugs, Nelson, I'm telling you, America's spent almost $100 billion fighting drugs in America every year. That's every year. So you're looking at a country that is as poor as Liberia, a country that does not know or hear from her tail, being subjected to such a drug epidemic. This has to be confronted.
Thank you.
Forefront. Okay.
Thank you,
so any idea that will help with that endeavor, out for it, even if it will be a long shadow.
Thank you. But let me come to you, Alfred. I want us to zero in here, then we just start to go up and take calls from there. Now, Alfred, when you listen to Senator Dillon, and I like the point. I like where Ture came up when he spoke of 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 this idea when introduced by Senator Dillon and lawmakers who may want to kick against it, uh, should be now looking at the way people voted in the just in the election, that lawmakers who went against the popular will of the Liberian people, those Liberians across the country made a very strong decision, and they spoke through their votes, and individuals wanting to kick against what Senator Dillon will be pushing risks similar action from the Liberian people. But Alfred, do you see this as something that's going to be like a trap for lawmakers wanting to kick against it, especially when Senator Dillon starts to push such a law, or maybe try to craft a bill around that?
Good evening to
Alfred,
all of my panelists.
Alfred, evening. We already started the show. Alfred, let's move on. Let's
Yeah, thank you, Nelson. You know, it's unfortunate that we even be talking about, you know, the issue about drugs. Look, before I joined the Armed Forces of Liberia in 2008, the first procedure was for me to do a drug test.
Okay.
And when I joined the military, it became a random exercise. I repeat again, when I joined the military in 2008, one of the procedures was to do a drug test.
Okay.
And after that, when I was eligible and got qualified to join the military, became a soldier, it became a random exercise. That means the guys at the clinic will say, okay, they combine today, we're going to do everybody drug test to make sure that everybody have good standing. It became a random exercise. In fact, 2016, I can remember, a soldier was dismissed after he was proven to have had drugs in his urine. A soldier was dismissed by Prince Johnson, who is now the chief of staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia. At that time, he was commanding general. In fact, he was a brigade commander. Okay, so the issue of drug tests, people should not take it out of context. It's a good thing. If you go to Ashmore Street, the Chewy Party building are there. There's a statement out there that say, "These not wars." Go there and think about that. These not words. In other words, action speaks louder than words. Okay. We have to be serious as a country. You know, so the issue about drug tests, people should not see it as a bad thing. We got to begin from somewhere. All right? Drugs in Liberia today has become an epidemic. It's everywhere. Every one of us are affected. One of my brothers is a Zogo.
But Alfred, do you see a kind of legislature? Do you see a kind of legislature, a kind of judiciary, or even executive that's going to embrace this idea from Senator Dillon?
But Nelson, we already have existing laws. We already have existing laws on the book.
But listen, and unless you want to be specific about some of those existing laws, now you spoke of what the routine turned out to be for you when you were in the military, the prerequisite to even joining the military. As it stands, it is not best practice. It is not a prerequisite for several officials of government to take office. Talking about the drug test, it's not a prerequisite. You may have a law that covers the military, for example, or maybe some of the paramilitaries, but it doesn't cover, you know, those at the top, those making very critical decisions with respect to the drug issue we're talking about, especially the legislature that makes the law. And again, do you see a kind of legislature that's going to embrace this idea from Senator Dillon?
You know, Nelson, every good thing has its own challenges.
Okay.
And I think if we take Senator Dillon's assertion, in good faith, we will begin to examine our existing laws on drugs, and we'll go somewhere. And I think it's a good thing to talk about it because we can just sit down and just be talking about the drugs business and not taking actions. And one of the recommendations that Senator Dillon is making, I think it makes a lot of sense that we bring it to the table. I believe strongly, as a student of public policy, I think he's just trying to elevate the argument about the issue of drugs in our country so that people can take it very seriously. So it's
Okay,
not
thank
just
you.
be that you go in the street, you see people, knocking their head on the floor, and you see people taking drugs. We have to elevate the conversation so that everybody can come around the table so that we can have solution to the problem, because the thing about drug is affecting everybody. It doesn't matter
Thank you.
whether you are at the top or below the ladder. Everybody is being affected by the
Thanks a
drug
lot,
issue.
Alfred. Thanks a lot, Alfred. Let's take Officer Hans Johnson. Officer Johnson, you are a security a personnel, man. You know how much of an impact or an effect this drug can have on societies, especially one like ours. Now, listening to Senator DeLon and talking about this whole idea of drug tests being a prerequisite for public officials, even mentioning the president elect, the vice president elect, that even he, Senator Dillon, he's going to subject himself to this very drug test. Where do you stand on this? On it, is it easily applicable to our Liberian society?
It's possible. Thank you. I applaud the senator. And with the proliferation of drugs of recent in Liberia, the last couple of months prior to elections,
Mm.
it is a critical turning point in the country when it comes to such. The great United States of America, we are struggling over here to curtail the drug epidemic that is going on in this country. And
Mhm.
when you see some of the people, most times um, people are criminals are arrested, and in the
Mhm.
process they are found with drugs on them. Like I arrest people sometimes almost every day with exceeding number of marijuana on them, which is legal, but on the federal side marijuana is not legal in this country, and other smaller drugs. So the drugs are being mixed up in this place. And I think what's hurting Liberia is not just marijuana, it's not just weed as commonly called weed or whatever, is the mixed up of all these dangerous drugs that got people to the extent where bath salt, I can start naming it. People are killing themselves. People are biting it. People are becoming cannibals with what's going on in the country. So what the senator said, I
Mhm.
applaud it. And it's possible. Why? Because he can propose a bill on the floor.
Okay.
Put a bill on the floor, vote on the bill, send it to the lower house.
And
Let's see.
putting the bill on the floor is one thing. Putting the
Mhm.
bill on the floor is one thing, but getting the support of your colleagues is another thing. The legislature is about the numbers. No
I
matter how
agree.
good your bills are, if you don't have the numbers, that's a waste.
Look, so every one of those legislatures up in that in on Capitol Hill,
Mhm.
there's a relative of them that is currently suffering from what you call Zogos, if I'm right.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
that I hate to label those people like that. I don't like using it, but every one of those legislators up in there, there's a relative of them. Even me sitting here, somebody of mine that is struggling with a pandemic in Liberia. So I think he can lobby. They can lobby for pay increase. They can lobby for a bill that will benefit them and benefit the country. So him saying from the president, Omer Boga, it's a good thing. It's a good political stunt. I like the idea. We all know the president not going to take drug tests randomly, like how I take drug tests randomly. Some of the
Mhm.
president medication, even if they take the drug test, they'll find it inside. It will look like he actually taking drugs, which that's why they tell you label your drugs, your prescription you are taking, because those things will come in your pee. It's about numbers. The,
Okay.
the senator needs at least 10 people on his side to put this, just 10 out of the, I think 30, right? There are 30
Yeah.
senators.
They're 30
30
senators.
senators. You just need 10 people on your side. When you sell
How,
this
how, how will
bill,
you how will you need 10 people? Hands make us to understand that,
okay.
because yeah, if you are taking this to the floor, and let's say you have to get a number that surpasses the other side. You have, let's say you should have the majority, two-third. most times, it's
Yeah.
about the 2/3. So the 2/3 basically has to do with okay, so you have 30 senators, 2/3 of the 30 senators will be 20. You should have like 20 senators to get the 2/3.
When you're fighting for votes, like
Mhm.
what's going on right now, it's called bargaining chips that goes
Mhm.
on. So this thing the senator is trying to do, he will have to sell it big time on the radio station, like your platform here, all the radio stations in Liberia promote with commercials. Also the US government would definitely help you because we are trying to that one look, American government would do anything other than way to help you to stop drugs because why? They know the effect of drugs, what it does to people in this country. And you may have a service member assigned to the US embassy that have that have family members with drugs. He or she may go out there one. He or she might have been. I'm not accusing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are going through. They start relapse is easy. Relapse is very easy. So not everybody see working at the American embassy over there too. They are 100% perfect. So many people are going through problems and they are come through that thing. So they might just go out there one day and fall short, and guess what? They relapse, right? And they are an American citizen, but they became a drug victim right in Liberia. So America will do anything out of his or her way to help you prevent the
Thank you.
proliferation of drugs. So the
Thank you.
senator can sell, just give me 5 seconds. The senator can
Mhm.
sell this by putting this on the radio, on the TV, on a billboard, and taking those 10 senators. The reason I say 10 senators are very powerful. You take 10 senators from 10 powerful cities where you know that is highly impacted and use them and pick up a couple of representatives, it can go. With our help, me and every one of us on the platform, we can sell it.
Wow. Now, I just like to visit the comment section a bit. Here, Marie Keta says it can be done for all employment sectors. However, one obstacle could be the people conducting the test because our people have ways of manipulating everything to make money on the side. Now, could this be one of the factors that may possibly affect this particular thing? Let's move to Francis. Francis, let's hear your take on this.
It's criminal.
Yeah, I mean, just to start from what Mari's comment. Yeah, I mean, that's what happened when you find a country where people work and they don't get paid, and you
Okay.
ask them to do perform a task. So you ask someone to perform a task, and somebody come and need that person to weigh in on in that direction. You have to grease their palm. Because that person has mouths to feed to at home, so that person will accept the bribe. But when people are being paid, and also the threat of going to jail for falsifying or tampering with a test, it will also prevent people from manipulating the results. So there has to be the threat and the follow through for people that will manipulate the test. So that's a serious concern. It's a valid concern. But also, we talk about if it will go to the floor. Darius DeLon just need to come and bring it to the floor. And also, I think somebody mentioned go to the registration by indirectly shaming his colleagues into taking up that bill and passing it. Because once you go to the Liberian people, you go to the social media, you go to the radio, say we're trying to get rid of Zogo, but look at the people there that are bringing the drugs, they are the one refusing to allow to pass the law. So all government officials should be drug tested. So if you're voting for a representative, a senator, the people that didn't vote for us to pass their bill, that the people bringing drugs in our country, vote them out. You can shame people into passing the bill. Is that going to prevent the government officials from taking drugs? No, but also the implementation and the follow through is the key. Once that bill is on the floor and it passes, implementing it correctly is the key. Then, but another thing he talked about, which of course I'm not sure if we are going to get there, but I wanted to bring it up, was those 14 folks that graduated today. Congratulations and thank God for them. But the problem is, and we'll have the same problem in the U.S., especially when we talk about people. Something happened with soldiers that went overseas to fight, and then they come back. They don't have jobs because they don't have the requisite skills
to perform certain things. So if those guys go to rehab, when they get out of rehab and they're idle, just sitting around with nothing to do, they will regress. They will go back to what they are familiar with. Because they said an idle mind is the devil's workshop. So that's one of the things we need to focus on, the economy, building the economy. And those guys, when they're in rehab, there should be a plan, an exit strategy that when they come out, maybe they go to some kind of trade school to learn trade or whatever. And when they get out of the trade school, there should be something and waiting them to keep them busy, that they'll be able to make that little $5 here, $10 here, and be able to feed themselves. Because when they don't have those avenues or those outlets, they will go right back to the ghetto. And I'm telling you, my cousin and another friend of mine in Liberia, I was in Liberia the other one, he got slapped and they took his phone from him. My cousin, the same thing happened to him too. So you don't have to be taking the drug to be affected by it. But you can't even walk. I was in Liberia, I couldn't even walk with my phone or even drive around with my hand out the window with my phone. That's how nervous I was. In the hot sun, you have to turn the windows up to use your phone because somebody will reach in and grab your phone. So you don't have to be addicted to the drug for you to have a negative impact on the drug epidemic.
Do you see the possibility of public officials? Now, Senator DeLong mentioned the president, he mentioned the vice president, he said he himself is going to subject himself to it. But do you see the possibility of other public officials, directors, ministers, and other officials of government who are up there making critical decisions, subjecting themselves to this if it were to be introduced by Senator DeLong?
I mean, it's simple. If it's introduced and it passes into law, if you want to work in public service in the government, you would do it. It will be part of your job requirement. It'll be part of your requirement. So there's no way around it. If you don't want to be a minister, then don't be a minister. But if you want to be a minister and says that you take drug tests every now and then, that's part of it. You don't have to work for government, but government has rules. Just like you go to somebody's house and tell you take your shoes off before you come into my living room, it's not your house. You're not forced to go in that house. But if you want to go in that house, you take your shoes off before getting into the living room. So if you want to be a minister or a representative, or senator, whatever the law covered, you will have to be, you have to subject yourself to those random drug tests or scheduled drug tests, whatever the case may be.
Now, for instance, let me ask you just the final question. We'll move to Emmy. If you were to suggest on this show, on this platform, the frequency of this particular test. Now, Senator DeLong was very clear. He spoke of the need to introduce it because he's already fighting from his end. The rehab center is there. They are making sure to graduate people and all of that and have them reintegrated to society. But if you were to suggest, right, the frequency of this particular test, how often do you think, if it were to be introduced or if it were to become a policy, how often do you think public officials should be going for this test?
I mean, you guys are correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe people and drug stay in your system for, I believe, up to 6 to 8 weeks after you take it and stuff like that, like those hard substance and stuff like that. So it can be random, maybe 3 times a year.
3 times a year.
Random 3 times a year, and you would catch people. I know there are medications and other things that are coming on the market now that can clean your system real fast. But if it is random and you take it to I figure, okay, I just got drug tested 2 weeks ago, so I'm good for the next couple of months. But then boom, my second one hit me 2 months down the line, and I'm caught. It should just be random. There's not a set time, but it should be random testing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It will be good.
Nelson, just quickly, if you don't mind, I was on the formation line 2020, right, during the riot. In my riot gear, the call came that Officer Johnson be pulled from the line and go do random drug tests. Can you imagine?
Wow.
Yes.
While you were on duty, and you just received the call.
Yes, they had to come. The sergeant.
So that day, if you were involved with anything of such, and you took your small thing in to get active on duty,
bro, all my friends, the guys started telling me bye. I was like, "Yo, waste your time," because I don't even watch my call. But just the sergeant came and took me to the clinic. So he's right. Wow. Random tests.
Okay, thank you. I mean, Turia, I saw your hand up.
Yeah, just to add on to what Heinz was talking about, it's like athletes, right? It's like athletes, like random drug tests, right? Cristiano Ronaldo going to score
Can you
6
mute? Can you
goals.
unmute? Guys, can you mute? I'm getting a feedback. I'm getting a
Ro-
feedback. If you're not talking, kindly mute. Okay. Yeah,
Ronaldo
go ahead.
balls out and scores 6 goals. That man walking in the locker room, guess what? He's getting drug tested. So it always happens here, even at my job, right? People just come sometimes. Maybe today you are hypersensitive today. What's going on? You know what I mean? The next thing
You're
you know, you get
laughing too much.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it always happens. It's a standard practice. But
Okay.
all for the good of your own interest, though, to be honest.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Ture. Let's hear from you, Amy. What do you make of the call from Senator DeLone for a drug test for public officials?
Thank you, Nelson. Senator Dillon, he never disappoints me, right? He's he's always, I don't want to say that he's the only senator in there, or the only senator who have love for Liberia, but he's the only one who I already seen shown, not just talk about he want to see Liberia change, but he always shows it. He always demonstrate or exhibit it that he want to see a change in this country and in the house there. So I'm not, surprised that Senator Dillon make this call because of the length he has gone to help people with this drug issue. And I think it's a good thing. I mean, why will anybody want to fight it if you don't have anything to do with it, right? You should embrace it. It should be something that we should all, everybody, especially them, the lawmakers and stuff that trying to that passing bills and all of that about these drugs. They should be, if their colleagues bring anything that they should be embracing it and be celebrating. There shouldn't be anything that it should be a pushback or like the 5,000. Let's reduce our pay, and everybody looking at you like, yeah, all right, you crazy. This is not money that you put in your pocket. This is something that really benefiting the people out there. So, if you truly care about Zocos and the drugs taking over our country, if you truly care about putting it under control, and you want to know where these things are coming from, you embrace it. I don't see
So
why, as a lawmaker.
yeah, I mean, Senator DeLone went on to name a few of those officials that he think should be tested regularly. He said he, as a senator, number one, he's willing to be tested regularly. He said the president, the vice president, who are other officials that you think should equally be subjected to this kind of like Hans said, random testing, and stuff like that. Who are some of those officials? Yeah.
Well, now saying in this case, right? You can't go and hingy pinky and picking
No,
people
I'm
on
not
this and
asking
that.
you to say
It
the
has to
name.
be.
I'm
I know.
not
I
asking you to
understand.
say the name, but I'm talking about in terms of positions.
That's what I'm saying. At this point, it should be everybody. It should be a requirement to work in the government. It shouldn't be any it's just for the house, or it's just for ministers, or it's just no. It should be a requirement to do a drugs test. You can't pick and choose certain agency and leave the other one. It's not. It should be a Liberian government thing. Like everybody should have a drugs test. I mean, it should be an employee. I mean, guideline in the country, right? Like here and all of that. But since it's not the case, yeah, we should start from the government. It should be all of them, whether ministers or whatever, to down to the elected officials and everybody should be just tested.
Even the sweeper should go do their test.
Yeah, well, government employee, civil servants. Yeah.
Thank you. Let's talk to Raymond. Raymond, let's hear your take on this. Mobile is going to take us to the phone lines. We want to leave early today, and we want to try to stick within the time frame. So yeah, let's hear from you. Can you mute Alfred? I see your mic is unmuted, and yeah, Raymond, go ahead. Let's hear your take on this call from Senator Dillon.
let's commend the honorable senator for doing the needful. You know, we have a problem in our country, and this was one of the issues that voters voted when they went to the ballot box. And this led to JMB victory because the George Manawia government did nothing. In fact, we saw the increase proliferation of drugs and narcotics in our country and the consequences or the effect of those things. So when you have a problem, the very first thing you need to do is to find solution. And the
Okay.
honorable senator isn't just making mere talks or mere bluff. We see that he put his meager resources in addressing the problem. But it goes beyond that. We have to, attack the problem from the root. If there are people using drugs, if there's drugs being sold on the market, there are people using it. And especially the people in government who makes decision, policy makers. If they are users and drugs abuser, they're going to make decisions that will control. I mean, that will not prevent the control of those substances in our country. So, in order to root out the problem from the root, is to deal with those that they said he that comes with equity must come with clean hands. How can we be discussing and fighting drug pandemic when the drugs enforcement officers themselves are drugs users? And we heard our brother Hans speak to the issues. It's of a major concern in the US that is very victimized by drugs. The amount of money the United States use in combating the substance abuse of narcotics, if it was being used for something else, America would be far better than what it is. Liberia cannot reach there. So we need to start tackling the problem right now. And if the Yuma Bwaka government can't do much about this, it's going to lead to her downfall. And not just the government downfall, but the people, Liberians, productive citizens, are turned into something that is, we do not like to call, but that's how we know it, Zogos.
Now,
And we need to,
Raymond, listening to Senator DeLong, he said, and I quote, "We will take the issue of drugs seriously in this country. I believe strongly that President Joseph Yumabwaka, Vice President Jeremiah Kuhn, Senator DeLong, and all of us in leadership will do drug tests. Any public official tested positive of drugs, you don't belong in government." Now, when he said that we would take the issue of drugs seriously in this country. Now, Raymond, let's hear your take on this comment. Is he speaking from a background of what he's hearing, since he's close to the elected government already? Is he speaking based on what he's already hearing with respect to what the government intends to do uh, on the fight against drugs?
definitely, Nelson. Currently, the government we have is called a United Party, but it's more than that. It should be called a United Party Alliance. And the United Party, we know, work with other parties to achieve this goal. In the CAB meetings, the planning, nobody comes to power without having at least an agenda or a strategy. So definitely, yes. And we even saw during the campaign time, there were a couple of youth who've been affected, victims of drugs abuse, met with the president-elect, and they spoke to him, about it, and they asked him to do something about it, this thing that affected them. And some of them, one eloquent guy spoke, he even read. He said, "Look, I come from this background. This is what I've acquired in life at this level of my education. But this bad habit got me where I am. Some of us, if we have a good rehabilitation program, can still contribute to society." And that's so true. So Joseph Yuma Bwaka promised them at the time that he was definitely going to do something. So I can tell you that there have been meetings. And this is just procedures. This is just best practice. So this is nothing new. That's what other serious government are doing. So that's what we need to adapt. It's not like we're inventing something new. No, it's the same wheel that's turning, and we're just copying and paste.
Let's hear from you on this, mobile, and then we'll be going to the lines to take some calls from our folks out there. Where do you stand on this? The call from Senator DeLong. Every single official of government, and at a point he was a bit specific. At a point he went on to talk about the NSA The NSA, he said, even the NSA boss, the police director or inspector general, and especially the LDEA boss, those individuals should be tested. Let's hear your take on this call, Moba.
Thank you, Nelson. I'm gonna commend the senator for that bold step. Nelson, you see, in every developed country, right? Before
Moba,
anybody,
is it just from me?
I
A
mean,
portion of your head is not showing.
do I need to go back or what?
Okay, yeah, you gotta go back a little.
All right, you hear me now? You can
Yeah,
see?
something that way I hearing you.
All right. So, okay. Yeah, I say I'm gonna commend the senator for that bold step. Actually, you see,
Okay.
in every developed country, before you get hired by any company,
Mhm.
well, like even sweeping job, people do what we call job tests. You gotta pass that job test before they hire you. So I think if the senator coming up with that proposal, it would be a very brilliant proposal for our Liberian people, more especially the government official. Because, recent time, there are a lot of government officials who are accused by doing just business in Liberia. And people point finger at the representative of district, I don't know what his name, Mr. Green, call it Green. And I can remember a police officer went and testified against him, but later on, she retracted her statement. And then she apologized because she was under pressure. In developed country, these things can work like that. People will come out and say things, and people and the authority will investigate. So I think what Senator Didon did, or what he said yesterday on your side, which is today on my side, look, every Liberian should embrace it, because I think is on the right path of our country. A lot of people today on the street, you think someone low. I interact with a lot of them, right? When I go Liberia, I always open up to them. That's the reason why I go Liberia. I can go anywhere and call, hold my phone, hold my wallet. Nobody can jack it, because I friend a lot of guys, and they can tell. They say, "You don't want to be in this situation." They say, "We don't want to be in this situation, but we don't have no choice." And
so no, Moba, let me understand something. You say you can get your phone and your wallet to the
no.
guy?
I say I can hold my phone and my wallet in my hand. They can't jack it.
Oh, okay. I thought you trust
I can sit
that
with them.
much. And
I
you
can
give your
embrace
phone
them.
and your wallet to the disadvantaged youth.
Yeah,
And
they
tell
are
them,
part
hold it,
of
my
us.
picking, you're going
That's
come
the
back.
reason why anyone go Liberia, people be like, when I go out, they be afraid. Sometimes, oh, they will check your phone, because I never, shame those guys, because some of them don't want to be in a situation they're in today, but due to condition. So I know we must commend the senator, and I always wanted. I think they need to amend the constitution on the just issue, right? Being like, if any senator, representative, or any government official who tested positive, rather, should be what? Should be jail for maybe some, like, as long you in it, it's not like you are private surveillant, or maybe you're going for job, but as long you working in the government, as long you part of the government, you are representative, you are senator, you are a minister, or whosoever, as long you are part of the government, if you are tested positive, you should go to jail. They should amend the constitution. Then we'll be talking about, we'll be talking about transparency in our society. To fight drugs, it's not a small thing, but our in Liberia it's very small. We can fight drugs in Liberia in less than maybe 1 or 2 years. We can kill drugs issues in Liberia immediately, because a lot of people, Liberia is small. If 2-3 people selling drugs, you will know. You're not looking at America, where you got to trace that. Our brother here said, sometimes they be saying, they will call you. And let me conclude by saying this, right? Even the government, right? If they want to do a drug tax, it should be an independent company attached to America. Reason being, there'll be nobody will be like, I want to, browse the system or manipulate the system.
Yeah.
So it should, yes. So it should be in line with the United States, so it can be independent and very transparent, so that somebody can say they lie on my name. And when they're doing the drug test, right? Like my brother here said, right? They shouldn't schedule you on date. As long as you to work today, they're walking your office and say, my man, you got to go do your drug test. So I think when we follow those steps, right? I think it will be better for Liberia. I think a lot of people Look, a lot of people with disease from not having because what center they don't say woman commend him. That's why I always back him no matter what. Even when you are running for the Senate for the senatorial seat, I was one of the presidents who campaigned massively for him because I knew that.
You put your 500 men out.
My man, I get 500 men waiting any hour, any
Listen,
minute I can pull it
Mama,
out.
where
Anybody
you
make me
get
vex.
500 minutes?
I get 500. No, nothing. When I come, I will take it to my 500 men. Don't worry. I will take it to you say what?
You get 500 men.
I get 500 men. I
Where
can
they
pull the
living?
street.
Where they living? Where the 500 men living?
But when I can't need people in the house one by one here again, my man.
Okay, so let's see. I see your hand up, Alfred. Just let's hear you quickly, then we'll go to the line.
Yes, thank you for recognizing me, Anderson. You know the reason why the whole talk about the drug seems to be a very big issue? Because we don't have a private sector. Everybody see the government as a place to go work. Because if the private sector was effective, the issue they think we're talking about drug tests, they are the one going to be running with it. Before you go work in any private sector job, you have to be drug tested. Before you are hired on day one, before you even go through that orientation, they will make sure you go through that drug test before you are even hired. Let's talk about background check.
Thank you.
When you are carrying a spoon TV, they do a background check.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mama, don't be politics. That's that 1 second, right? And one of the good things.
Listen. Let me say this. This guy is interesting. Since you already put me on the spot, let me say this.
I'm pretty easy. I let you.
I mean, I'm not going there. Let me forget it.
Let me just say this, right?
You coming put me on defensive. That strategy can work on me because I know what we're going for.
Yeah, let me just 10 seconds, right? I think one of the things like our Liberian people, like more especially the people who they will bring to do that, to do all the justice and things, right? My man, if they come into it, they shouldn't tell you. They only come as soon as they knock your office. Yeah, they knock your office. They say next thing, that go, you go do your drug test. You be like, but they say, but our business, we got to do it. And it should be independent.
Then you be crying, you say, but I drink Ataye last night or so.
My man, the people will get it. The people will get a different shit from Ataye and drugs.
Ataye is not drug, is it?
You know, sometimes put the medication too, but they will. Guess what?
But folks, we have to go to the lines.
Okay,
let's
go ahead. No problem. I don't want to
get
some clarity on what was saying.
But folks, we want you to call in now. The WhatsApp number is there, strolling on the screen. Call in. This is the late night show. Weigh in your thoughts on the talking point here tonight. Senator DeLong is calling for a drug test. A drug test for all public officials. And he wants this to cut across, regardless of who you are. Even the LDEA boss, the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency head, should be tested regularly for drugs so as to help curb or curtail the widespread of the drug issue we have in the country. So let's take your calls now. 0555-101075. That's our local line. 0555-101075. You can also call the WhatsApp line that's scrolling on the screen there, and you'll be able to make your contribution to the program tonight. We take our first call here. Hello, you're live.
Hello.
Yes, you're live. Your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah. How you doing?
Yes, sir. We okay. Let's hear you.
This is Andrews. I just want to tell you guys thank you for the idea of drugs because it's really destroying the youth in my area. Is very much alarming.
Okay.
And in this public manner, I want to say thank you again, Nelson, for the assistance you give. But I'm still strangulated, no crutches, no way to move. I'm stranded, and I can't just explain it all. Even when I came down there, I was pushed out of the vehicle, and I don't have anything at the hospital, even on the harder day.
Okay,
so I'm appealing to all the brothers, even to say, I'm on the show. So mother, to kind of help me to get me a crutches. There's a lady who sells some around here for $60. Please help me to be able to get out. I got no way out. Strangulated.
Okay, let's talk off the air. All right, let's talk off the air. Most of these discussions are meant to be held off the air. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Hello, you're live. Your name and where you calling from?
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
My name is Thomas Kuman. I call from Upper Kawa.
Okay, come in. Let's hear you. What's your take on
Yes.
this issue?
Also, the issue there is what I noticed. Senator Dillon is just confirming what PYJ said.
Okay.
What the armed forces general said. Yeah. So I mean, it makes sense because my
When you say Thomas, for
I
the
mean,
sake of our
PCJ.
for the sake of our audience, when you say Senator Dillon is confirming what the Army Chief of Staff said, then you have to state what he said because there are some people listening who did not hear what he said.
So the chief of staff said
Mhm.
that no official should be first to take trust test.
Okay.
And in line with that, Senator Dillon just confirmed that all government officials should be the one taking. Doing the test too because I can't take trust. If you send me to spearhead that sector, trust me, you'll do well.
Can you
Go
unmute
for
one
the ghetto and eradicate the issue of trust in the country. So I think Senator is on the right path. And
Okay.
he's speaking aloud.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot,
All right.
Thomas. Let's squeeze this person in.
Hello,
Hello.
Nexi.
Yeah, hello, you're live.
Hello, Nexi.
You're live. Your name and where you call from?
I'm John Kamara calling from Johnsonville.
Please go ahead. Let's hear you.
Okay, it's very good idea, brilliant idea, that is bringing, on the floor. But my question I want to ask, what if, the tested you positive? What will be the aftermath? What will be the penalty or what are we going to do about it?
No, okay. So in his comment today, he said starting with those who will be going for confirmation after the
Okay.
inauguration in January. He
All
said
right.
no drug test, no confirmation. And if you are positive, you will equally not be confirmed because you have been tested positive with drugs. You have drugs in your system, you're doing drugs. So that's where Senator Dillon is coming from.
Okay,
Thank you,
well,
sir.
is a very good idea he's bringing
Mhm.
for the public officials. But what going to be, what is going to be, a nationwide, exercise.
Okay.
This thing not only for public, for public officials, those are serving the government. What about, we that, in the private sector or in the nationwide? How are we going to do about it?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. When the senator come on any of the shows, he will respond to that one. Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, sir. Your name and where you calling from?
I'm Ansu A. Sally calling from Jigoda.
Let's hear you, Ansu.
I will firstly let to commend the senator for this major discussion because you are venting and infecting the youth and all of people. Even you are authentic. I told myself that they feed them a phone was flat from my hand. For the guys who cause. So if the people in the world they can pass bill for transport reimbursement and Larry, why they can't pass that bill for all?
Okay.
To be free from it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Let's hold you there.
Yeah, and my question here is if this bill be passed, it will be passed for the masses or it will be passed for every Liberian, whether you are rich or
He said public officials. He said public officials. So once you are working government, whether you civil servant, you director, you minister, this is what he's pushing for.
The son now they got some for Joseph, our president elect Joseph Yimabwaga, what they call Bugatti. There was some last one where he said, "I know just for the poor." That is what I'm asking.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. Some of the questions I can't answer because I'm not in the capacity. I don't have the capacity, or I'm not in the best position to answer that. So if you have a question for Senator Dillon, maybe you can just ask it. He will answer it on his Facebook page or when he appears on any of the programs. Hello, you're live. Let's hear you. Oh, Dr. Kelvin, it's great to have you on.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Kule.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you guys for the discussion tonight. I think you guys are doing well, and I want to say Merry Christmas to everyone and to our viewers in radio and television land.
Okay.
I'd like to give thanks to the Senator A.B. Dillon for what, as his name is mentioned, he said the rescue light. I think what he tried to do over there is that he tried to set up criteria. This criteria that will be, he is leading federal criteria among the officials of government is very good. When he said that those in the president and the vice president, he's just trying to say that those in leadership will go to everyone. If the president and the vice president can be put under that kind of a threshold, so you should know that that would be good for everyone in the school, everywhere. It is also said what they say the leader should lead before other people can follow.
Okay.
So that is a very good example.
Thank you.
Very good example that he's talking about, and also is that that is not only for the issue of drugs. He's also setting a criterion for other places in society. For when you want to hold a job, there should be criterion.
Okay.
So this criteria, if we adapt this criteria in our liberal system, I think it will be a very good one. Thank you guys for the show. Merry Christmas to everyone. And I rest my case, Mr. Kule. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, Dr. Kelvin, for your contribution tonight. Let's take this person. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Nelson. How you doing?
Yes, sir. I'm okay. It's good to have you on the show.
Yeah, I'm Ella Joseph Kogan from Omatari.
Koga, please go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. There's something on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
My son died in a phone car accident.
Okay, so listen, sir, can you come to the Spoon Network, engage with management on that? Listen, when we open the lines here, when we on the show, and let me say this, when we on the show, when we're having a discussion, when we open the lines, we open it for people to make contribution to what we are talking about. So if you have other issues you want to talk about, the Spoon Network is here. You can come at the Spoon compound and be able to address your issues. All right? Please, I'm kindly appealing to you guys calling in. Please. Let me take the last two calls and then we wrap up. Let's take this person here. Hello, you're live?
Yeah, it's a network.
Network? Okay, so hello?
Hey, good evening. Hello?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Alfonso, going from Charlotte, North Carolina. I just want to thank you guys for I want to thank you guys for the discussion and Senator A.B. Darius data. The issue of drugs in our country, nursing is a national security issue.
Yeah.
And I believe that the government of Liberia, there's already a drugs law. So what they need to do is just to come up with a policy, set up a policy that all civil servants should go through the process of drug test before serving in the government. For elected official, as my brothers were saying, I mean, they should evaluate themselves. If they want to become people that will inspire others to follow them in leadership, integrity is one of the key issues. They just need to evaluate themselves. Okay. If they refuse, their people will be told to vote them out one day.
Thank you.
But, that's my piece of advice.
Thank you. All right. So we'll have to hold it at that and then come back to you to wrap up. So we will start with Raymond. Raymond, can you do your closing, sir, in 1 minute?
It's always a pleasure to be here discussing issues that affects all of us, the country that we love, the place that none of us can be deported from, the place that we all need to work very hard to improve so that home can be a place that we desire. And it's a pleasure sharing this platform with every one of you. And to our people in Radio Land, on the YouTube, on Facebook, and the likes, who support us, who's being here all the time, give us your ears for us to talk to you. We just want to wish you a Merry Christmas. In whatever way you can celebrate, be happy. Life is short, make the most out of it. And do your best to be the better version of yourself. Every day that God has given you is an opportunity to right your wrongs. And we as a people, when we come together with one goal, is to transform our country and improve our livelihood and our conditions. We will prevail always better and stronger people. And we will be an example where we will influence others and make the world a better place. Let this be our vision. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Alfred, let's hear you, sir.
Yes, I would like to strongly propose to the senator that we need to move one step further with this drug issue. It should not just be limited to you know, just a government official doing drug tests. We want a proposal that will have at least a 10-year plan of how to deal with the issue of drugs. It should not just be, the normal Liberian thing. So we can just discuss it 1 week. Everybody talk about it, then it come down. No. We want a formulation of policy that will be able to deal with the situation of drugs. It should not just be one thing we just can talk to the Let us give ourselves a time that in 10 years we want to have this threshold on drugs. So we can make ourselves available. Darren Dillon, if you are hearing me, we are here. We can make ourselves available. We provide all the ideas that we can put pen to paper and write, a drugs-free society plan that will go across the country. It should not just be about government officials coming in government. We can do this thing when we come together. We can do it. I'm confident that we can do it as a people. We just need the right people in place that will, lead by example, and everybody else will follow. We are here, Mr. Dillon. We can provide all the ideas that are necessary to make that work for us. We can do it for ourselves. We don't need America all the time to pat us on the back. We ourselves can come together and put a 10-year drug plan for our country. Because, Nelson, the issue of joining our country, the way it have damaged our young people, if we don't put things in place to start dealing with it now, it will affect the next generation of Liberians that are coming. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Hence, what happened? The people say he's sleeping. What going on, officer?
Meditating, I'm putting my thoughts together.
Oh, you meditating? Okay, meditating. Which scripture reference?
Sure, officer.
They meant meditating, but they meant meditating. They meant took that from mobile playbook.
Yeah, Mama say you're watching TV. I called the brother over 5 times to join the show. The brother can't join. I took my phone and call him. He can't stay pick up. Then he say you were watching TV. To please do your close.
Anyway.
But look, Nelson, while we applaud Honorable Darren Dillon for coming up with this, at least putting this in a space where we could debate it and have our position on it. I know very well it's gonna be a really tough, mommy. I know it's gonna be a really tough a situation to really put across, but I don't know exactly how serious JMB is when talking about the combating drugs.
Okay.
I would base my position on it to see exactly is JMB going to pass a legislation that will actually send the strongest in terms of who to be a violator of those rules, right? Let's see Indonesia. Indonesia had a drugs problem. And they had a prime minister who came there, guy in heaven, what happened? People died, Nelson. People die in their hundreds.
Lee Kuan Yew.
Right? People die in their hundreds, Nelson. And I've said this, I'm not a proponent of wanting for people to die. Right? But if something becomes an age-old problem in a country that have become so systemic to the core, then you have to bring some strong, steadfast, strong laws that anybody who violates such term reference should be killed. I'm sorry. I know very well it is absolutely. I'm not the kind of person that look to be uttering such words, but I'm telling you, if something becomes a systemic problem, you have to put in terms that will actually get people killed when they violate these things. That's the only way people will be able to understand these things, Nelson. I mean, I'll be the least person that you can look at to see someone that will be pushing for such. But I'm telling you, the only way we can stop corruption, The only way we can stop embezzlement, the only way we can stop this drugs abuse, we have to not just look at the people in the street, but there are people in our country, in businesses that import drugs in our country. What's government doing about that? There are people in government in high positions that are importing drugs in our country. We know these things. The drugs are not working in a country. There are people in high authority that are bringing the drugs in. We know that, right? People that have privileges and authority that nobody fool to check or seize or look in their luggages they can bring in the country, that people bringing the drugs in. So make no mistake, and until we can start holding people on top accountable, then that trickle down effects on the people that it's actually affecting mostly, then those are the people that will pay the brunt of the problem. But
Thank
we know
you.
very well who are the drugs laws in this country. Even though I don't want to bring my man hands inside, he will actually talk about that. But I be people that are the people that in the team. Thank you, Nelson.
Thank you, Ture. And let me just say this. Okay, I'm gonna say at the end of the show, but go ahead, Hans, Officer Hans. Let's hear you.
My man bringing a capital punishment. What? Yeah. Anyways, it's the sorry, Ahmed. Thank you for putting me. I'll insert you too late for a minute. Listen, the senator is being applauded here tonight by every one of us, and I think that initiative is his, right? If I'm not mistaken, the rehab center is
Yeah.
through his office, right? Okay, that man never ceased, as Ami said, never ceased to amaze his me on his wealth of knowledge and just good deeds. So Senator Dillon, you know, you're a good man, and may God bless you always. But what we need to do here is look at this from the top. We saw the proliferation of drug in the last few months prior to the election, as I said, and what came out of it? Nothing. My good friend, we went to school together, Livingstone, the guy at the airport who was the security guy. I don't know what became of that. Nothing came out of it. It was just speculations. They show all the documents that Fina Bono signed off and this and that, but we see that there's the last government was weak, and as the people of Liberia with God first decided to let go of these people, because who knows what would have happened in the next 6 years? What would have become of Liberia? You know, Guinea-Bissau, Sao Tome, all those places are drug hubs right now. The American government and the European Union, they are hugely investing in fighting the cartel. So the senator can get this done if I said I can't. I set the bar too high with only too low, rather only 10 senators, but I did that premise as a means of selling the senator ideas through the universities, the TV station, the radio stations, and all the counties in and around Liberia. Now, having the drug eradicated is not as easy as we think. The relapse is a serious issue. So raiding those ghettos, you got to have when you're raiding those ghettos, you got to have what you call rehab centers to put these people into drug. Now, or addict, a way for an addict to overcome drug is to him to have a lesser kind of drug, right? So if you're taking what you call waka flocka, it's a kind of drug they have on the street over here, right? He pumping his system with waka flocka, so that means he had to come down one drug lower that they use that is not high. You know, they know the medical people here know what I'm talking about. So they have to build more rehab centers.
Okay.
And the rehab center have to be far away from the city and other areas where it's not like a prison, but it's like a rehabilitation place that will bring the people back. And with that said, you got to have jobs available, job opportunities. So taking these people off the street and the ghetto is one thing, but how are you going to keep them from relapsing is a whole different protocol. So the incoming government, there's a lot of work to be done. And with the help of you, Nelson, when I say you, the radio station and TV station can be a great help to help this problem, to curtail this problem, you know, to a certain extent or percentage.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Officer Hans. Francis, let's hear you, sir.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, folks in Liberia. Just to push a little bit further, Darius DeLong funding his own rehab center. The government of Liberia should also be funding that rehab center. It should subsidize some of the treatment that's going over there. He can't do everything by himself, and he cannot. He waiting on donations and things like that. But the government should have funding for rehab centers in Liberia, and that's the only way these things will be, eradicated. Because it's one thing to build a rehab center, but it's another thing to keep the guys there through proper funding. Because that requires staff. And these rehab centers, not just people that just come around and just give the guys that medication and things like that, or read bedtime story to them. No, you need staff to keep them from trying to even escape. I know he said the door is open, you can leave whenever you want to leave, but our staff are encouraging those guys not to leave. So those staff need to get paid also. So you can't just, hope that the guys will go there and stay there without any kind of intervention. So the government definitely needs to step in and do a lot better than what's going on now.
Thank you.
I will push back to just 1 second, keeping those guys busy when they get out. They can't just go in, get out, and sit on their hands with no job, nothing to keep them busy, no trade, no skills or nothing. They'll relapse. So we need to make sure we are preparing our brothers and sisters when they come out to not go back, because it's not going to be a good thing.
Thank you. So then we will take Emmy. Emmy, go ahead. Okay, so are you appearing and disappearing? Okay,
I meant to unmute myself, and I did it. Yeah, thank you, Nelson. And like we already said, sorry about that. It was my son.
Okay.
So yeah, yeah, like we said already, everybody had already said everything about the rehab thing, and we hope and pray that the lawmakers will embrace this bill. Most importantly, the president and the vice president. I mean, if you have nothing to hide, it shouldn't be I don't think he's asking you to bring your teeth to pull it out with pliers or anything like that. It's just a common thing that you just have to pass and make it a law. And it's not. I don't. It's nothing personal. It's for everybody, every government employees, and that would be a good start for our country. And as time goes on, private sector will also start to implement that too. And it should be that that's another way of getting rid of drugs as well. And we all should embrace it. And like everybody already said, even the callers, how this is affecting them. It doesn't have to be you who is putting it in your mouth or injecting yourself with it. But one way or the other, you get in trouble when drugs is all over in a country. So yes, we thank you, Liberian people, and Merry Christmas. And we wishing you all a safe Christmas. Be careful, celebrate with care, and please, purse snapper, phone snatcher, leave your friend and phone in his purse, and let everybody have a good Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Nelson,
how are you talking to your own?
Nelson, I beg you, please look for someone to looking for someone to I can see the man. Please bring the man in here, pay our show to tell all what happening and pay our people.
Oh, you up on that situation you can handle?
Christmas is Monday, Alfred.
Mobile, can you do your closing, sir?
I can't believe Christmas is Monday. I haven't gotten paid, man. Hey, man, there'll be some Christmas in that play.
I know, man.
That's sad, bro. For real.
The man, someone to say he's sick. That's why he now
guys, can you do your closing? Mova, can you do your closing?
Yeah,
Sir?
let me close. You know, Darrell Dillon, we fought for him to get in our place where he is today, to be the senator of Maserati. Because we know that he will come and bring up like a difference, like bring different narrative to the Senate. The Sir Joseph will get it. Since I've been watching Sir Joseph, he only talk when he said the bill read to pass. How much money there for the senator? At the only time. Instead of people voted him, but you know, when I go to him today, but ADD, you won a battle, my brother, my big brother. You won a battle. And we are here to support you in any means, any ways, as my brother Alfred said. We are here to give some our own layer out there when it comes to the law enforcement and more especially the just issue. We go through it sometimes. We understand how to tackle those things. It's not all, but some, as we're still learning. But end of the day, we must amend the senator. We must commend him for what he did. We salute him.
Thank you, sir.
You understand? We salute him. We salute him. Did extremely well. And let me just conclude by saying that let him enforce that law. Let the law pass. Let him put it on the Senate floor. Let him, like our brother said.
Like the portion of your head is not showing.
Oh God! You can see me now.
Yeah.
They make Christmas shirt too small, man.
My man didn't wait to feed him. I'm going to the gym, man. That's it laughing.
I'm going to
Don't fool yourself. After I'm going to jail, leader, don't fool yourself. Don't matter about it. Don't try it. I swear about leader. Don't try it.
It's straight in the man.
Huh?
I said, that's my Christmas on you.
I mean, don't try me, oh.
I mean,
okay, Christmas on me. I got one
bucket.
I got one bucket of
I smile with me, man.
Keep it for me, Nancy. Keep it for me.
But I tell you what, no, Maba, let's do this one at a time. I tell you what.
Smile with me now. No, I mean, if you have been busy, I told you, right?
Listen, guys,
but we'll talk.
I tell you what, you're talking about your Kayan, right?
Keep my Kayan, Nancy. I'm coming for my Kayan, bro.
There was this guy who tried to send Kayan to someone in the States. You know, the person asking everything. He said, oh, yeah, I will send you Kayan. He was not sending the Kayan through someone who was traveling, like someone is going there, you want to send a parcel, but he went through the regular system. How do they call them? DHL.
DHL?
What? And the guy went one jar of Kayan. They're charging 300.
That'll wait.
Yeah, they wait. You know, they have it. They charge him 300. They may say 301. They say
I even pay for another.
They may say 300 USD to send a Kayan. That not even spend $100. I
even spend $5.
So the guy said, my people, they Kayan as I go. You will not see me yet. I will eat a Kayan little by little.
What is sense in that thing? Ask somebody to pay.
Less than
$100 they pay $300 to ship Kayan.
Yeah. Oh no, contra bread is a lot. But guys, I want to say thank you, man.
Don't worry.
That's the one I want. I want a contra bread.
Oh, that contra bread.
We'll get it when I say
I like the contra bread. I like Kayan that much. That contra bread I like.
Yeah.
No,
they
get a comic Kayan better than the Gary Kayan.
That's not saying the video you're asking about. Video.
Oh yeah, the comic Kayan is better than the Gary Kayan.
Oh,
you will like
what?
it.
Comic Kayan?
Yeah, you know.
What is comic Kayan?
They got a comic Kayan, you know.
What is
hey, my man, look at the men about.
What is
my man? Don't talk this, okay? Don't talk
I've tried the Gary Kayan before.
Okay, guys,
don't eat the Gary Kayan, myself. Let the Gary do this.
What is comic Kayan? What is Kayan?
Okay, guys, thank you.
Look at you.
Officer Hans, you're a mess.
He's a mess.
It's Kayan.
Nelson, they put in the comment section and said Nelson wants to see how far before you know the man sleeping.
No, Officer Hands. Wait, let's establish something.
Yes.
Is it like you often fall asleep on the show, or you just have a beautiful eye?
So this is the thing.
The mega Joseph Bogabo.
Hey, my man, no. Mama, you talk. In fact, we're going, man.
Let me answer the guy. Honestly speaking, Army will tell you, I don't sleep. What you see me, I don't sleep. I mean,
I will tell you.
No, hey, my man, relax.
Seriously?
No. We be on call. We have a group call in the night when
My man, you went the last time you on the group chat. What you say they make it?
Thank you. So,
my man, you see that thing you have been doing. And you are doing your test. I must say that.
They answered the guy, one of the guys in class I used to just beat plenty. They answered to your question, Nelson. My eyes, it look like I'm sleeping. I'm not. I mean, I can fool people and catch them.
Yeah,
please.
I'm blind.
Nelson,
people are sleeping on the show tonight. Afra and Heinz.
Nelson, what is Kaya?
What is Kaya?
What is Kaya?
Well, guys, I want to say thanks, man. It's been a great show. Let me
say nothing. My wife is your bro. Small my later go meeting in the freezer. She ran to me, Daddy, what do you have in? What do you have in here? It looks brown. I said, you have no business. Nothing. You have no business. Just by it.
Leave it there.
Daddy said that. I was gonna go bottle of beer.
Thank you.
Immigration officer said, "What is that?" I said, "That's Kaya." He said, "What is Kaya?"
What is Kaya? Let me say that you.
Alfred, thank you. Ture, thanks for being here. Hands, thanks a lot for being here.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. Boba, thanks for being here as
Merry
well.
Christmas, Nelson.
Merry Christmas to all our viewers, guys.
Merry Christmas, our people. Thank you.
To all of our followers, we appreciate you. Thanks.
But on a group chat, what they can be talking, you can spend almost 4 hours on a group chat.
My man, Leo and Loom about to go there anyway. We're going in the group chat right now.
What is Kaya?
Coconut and peanuts.
They're Kaya in the backstage. Just go in the backstage.
Thank you, Nelson.
Yeah, thank you, man. Ture.
Merry Christmas, Eric, my girl.
Merry Christmas, my Labrador people.
Yeah. So, folks, we want to say thanks a lot to you out there for being here with us on this edition of the program. The late night show on Spoon. You can join us tomorrow for another edition of the program. Until then, have a good night. I'm Nelson Colette. Bye-bye for now.
Yes, I, a special one from the CEO, stand coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band, George on the beat.